because your promises are sure. They are here and amen. Feel blessed, feel blessed. I feel blessed when your mantle is upon my life. I can dance like David dance. Feel blessed, feel blessed. Let me hear you feel safe, feel blessed. Feel blessed, feel blessed. I feel blessed when your mantle is upon my life. I can dance like David dance. Feel blessed, feel blessed. We want on that team who can, ooh Lord, yeah. Blessed.
So what?
Have you wondered what would have happened to God's creation if Satan had dealt directly with Adam? Huh? And do you even know why God said it's not good for man to be alone?
But I thought it was for sex and companionship.
Oh, those are important. But the real reason is that man needed a prayer warrior to do spiritual battle for him.
Oh, then let me tell you that your son is going to die. If your son is really in danger, as you say, then he's going to die. Because me, I don't pray. I am not religious.
Look at her. Me, I don't pray. I am not religious. Bele. Those of us who operate in the spiritual realms love people like you who don't believe. You make it so easy for us to operate.
And why are you not the one protecting him? You're his mother.
Yes, I am his mother, and I protected him until he got married. Now the locus and the responsibility are with you, the wife. I can support you, but I cannot take your place.
So what will happen if I don't pray?
Then he would have to pray for himself. But if he's a man, and men don't like praying, if the two of you don't take cover in God through prayer, we would have to cut his life short.
You know what? I think this is all nonsense.
Hey.
This is all nonsense. And I don't believe in any of this nonsense. Now, if you want to kill your son with witchcraft, go ahead, kill him. But don't make it any responsibility of mine to protect him from you, his mother. And all of this better be a dream. What is this?
My time is up. You're searching for me. I need to get back before they wonder where I've been. You, before I leave, let me leave you a sign so you don't dismiss this as a dream. You lost a teddy bear 2 years ago when you came to Ghana. You will find it in the soup.
I'm here to see the boss, Mr. Kofi Yami.
Take a seat. Let's continue. Listen. Oh, Shishi. Why are you crying over a man? Why should you cry about a man? He said that. You see now. You see what I've been
Laundering. Yes, I will leave you.
I don't feel under. Maybe I drink, but I don't feel under at all. Effie.
Fifi.
Yes? Where are you going?
Fifi, what is this?
My hanky.
Fifi!
What?
What is this? Hey! Fifi! Fifi!
Did you put this in my pocket?
Does this look like something I wear? Did I put this in your pocket, Fifi?
Baby, slow down. It's hard to let go.
Fifi!
Listen. The music, the memories, and all the loving.
Prayer meeting. And neither did any of the pastors know of any plan for my son. And that is a very big blasphemy against the Church of Christ and the Spirit of God. Matthew 12, verse 31.
Amen. This is our studio. And hey.
You are welcome back from the commercial break.
Look, the sleeping man over here is Mohammed, our technician. Mohammed, that is KSM, our new presenter.
No, not as long as he's married to me.
That's who?
I have a right of him. Auntie Sarah, did you tell me that?
Sarah, you told her what? When? Hey. Silly girl. Don't mind her.
I refuse to allow you to hurt him.
Okay, let's try this your way. You, young lady, come on, are wasting my time. Full stop. Move, bitch. Get out of here.
Fifi! Fifi!
Hey,
Fifi!
he will not wake up to relief.
Fifi!
Hey, is that all you can do to protect your husband?
Dear God, Koma, please do something before they kill my husband. Please don't let them kill my husband. Sight. You evil spirit, go away in Jesus' name.
Sarah. She mentioned that name. I think she didn't know anything.
She doesn't.
Wow, I feel good. I know that I would now. I feel good. I know that I would now. So good, so good. I got you. So good, so good. I got you. Wow. Good morning, Vic.
As for you, look at how you are dressed. Everyone will think you are the CEO, and yet you're a mere driver.
Who? Driving is not me. As the driver of this company, I'm the most important person here. Because I hold everybody's life in my hands when they sit in my car. Besides, as the driver of this radio station, I'm the most visible about the station in town. So I must dress to reflect the image and the branding of the station. Do you understand? Or would you like me to explain further with diagrams and
Oh,
illustrations?
go away with your two-known.
Typical. Typical. You see a Ghanaian. When a Ghanaian doesn't know, and you are trying to teach or educate him or her, they call you to know. Ignorant Vic. I keep my knowledge to myself. Is the boss in?
He's in his office, Dennis the Menace.
Oh, no. Not Dennis the Menace. Dennis, the original, Mr. Smooth.
Oh, go away.
Eh,
Get out.
I will see you soon. Vicky. boss.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Oh, I passed by the brewery to pick up the check.
Oh, you did?
Yes, sir.
But I didn't ask you to.
Oh, boss. You don't have to ask me to do certain things. When it needs to be done, I am your man.
This is unbelievable. Look, I have been chasing this check for 3 weeks. And you passed it, they just issued it to you?
Oh, boss, I have my persuasive ways, so I can be very persuasive.
Look, come and sit down, come and sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Money.
Mr. Hene, sir, will you issue a check so I pay the station's share to the accounts department? Oh, and if you will prepare a receipt for the brief from your ad agency's receipt book and fill in your bank paying book as well, then when I go into town, I can pass by the bank, pay your share into your merchant account, and then go to the brewery, deliver their receipt.
Look, you are something else. You know that.
Thank you, sir. I just aim to please. I just aim to please.
No one should know about this, okay?
Oh, boss. This is not the first time I'm doing such a thing for you. Why? Have you heard whispers of it anywhere?
You see, that is why I like you.
Thank you, sir.
You are very discreet.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, can you run an errand to Julie for me?
Oh, sure thing.
Good, right, okay. When you go to Merchant Bank,
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Withdraw this check for 1,000 Ghana cedis, and then go and give it to her. Tell her I'll see her soon,
Sir, the last time she said to tell you that she hasn't seen you in a long time, and that it is you she wants and not the money and the...
Thought-provoking, motivational, inspirational, attitude, values, faith, soul-inspiring content, value for money. New Look, the magazine that reports on our values, attitudes, and faith for discerning people. Rover Report Monthly Magazine. Get your copies from all Shell shops, Total shops, and a supermarket near you. Or call 0302-231188 for subscription.
Hello. Thank you for making the time to join us once again. It is Friday, 12:30 GMT, and I'm so happy that you have made an investment of time and data to join us. My name is James Ebo-White. I am the CEO of Roverman Productions, but more importantly, I am very committed to helping you become your best self. We are live on YouTube, on Periscope, on Facebook Live, and I invite you to like and share our page so that we can have a whole community coming in. I'll be doing a presentation, and then after that, I would take your questions. Now, there's an interesting message that was waiting for me from 2 different husbands. They want me to say, to give a shout out to their wives. So, to you, Yvonne of Ghana Standards Authority, your husband says hello and says he is watching and wishes you would join him. And then to Amasewa Konedu Champon of Def Traco C25, your husband loves you so much and wishes you could join him right now online as we all have a discussion of how to build better relationships. Last week I said July holds a very special meaning for me for 2 reasons. July is my birth month, as it were. I celebrate my birthday on 20th of July. And then 3 days later, on 23rd of July, I celebrate my wedding anniversary. And this year is going to be the 34th wedding anniversary. And because of that, I decided this month to do a bit of introspection. So the presentations I'll be bringing you are based upon my experiences in marriage. And I am eager to share that with you because I do not want you to be under any illusion. This is not a perfect man. This is not a man who's got all the answers. No, I struggle like you do. I grapple with issues like you do. If I'm sitting here sharing with you, it is not because I've got all the answers, but it's because I believe that we are all capable of doing better. I also believe that even my mistakes may save you. If all the sharing does is to help you avoid the mistakes I have made, then I have come out very well off, and I'll be very, very excited. So I'm going to share with you what has made my marriage work. And then we'll take a little break. When we come back, I'll go into it. After 4 years looking back, what is it that has made this marriage that should not have worked? Stay on, I'll be back.
Honey, I have laid the bed. Baby, Anaki, tomorrow I have a meeting. I have a business meeting tomorrow.
Sir? Oh, sweetheart. Here, take this.
Get the best-selling novels, The Deal, and Perfect Couple by Uncle White at 40 Ghana cedis each. Available at all Shell shops, selected bookshops, and total filling stations. For inquiries, call 050-554-6010 or WhatsApp 050-554-6030 for your copies.
Right, I'd like to thank you very much for staying with us. Please invite your friends to join us so we can build a much bigger community. Oh, by the way, I have good news for you. A member of my team, and I have a team of wonderful young men here, and then a young lady who bosses everybody around. But one of the young men increased the population of Ghana by 1 at 1 a.m. whilst we're all sleeping. Yeah, he and his wife smuggled in another Ghanaian. So Chrissy Hayford and Esther, congratulations. I am so glad that it is a daughter. I would pick a daughter over a son anytime. No offense to the boys, but that is me. I would pick a daughter over a son anytime. So if we're Hayford, may you be a blessing to your generation, and may you stand out wherever you go, and may favor be your portion. Oh, and may God create a wonderful young man for you. A man who will be 1 in a billion as your man. All right, so I needed to do that. I'm sorry. Chrissy doesn't ask for much, so every now and then. Anyway, let me begin with a quote. And this is a quote from Sheila Haley. Sheila Haley was the wife of the bestseller who gave us such wonderful books like Hotel, Airport, Strong Medicine, Encore. And after 25 years of marriage to the author, the bestseller, this is what she says. In her book, the title of the book is I Married a Bestseller. Quote, to stay happily married to anyone for 25 years is an achievement. To stay happily married to a writer is a miracle. End of quote. But this woman saved me and Florence in more ways than one, and I'll come back to that. So let me set the stage for today's presentation for you. I married Florence when I was in love with somebody else. But I had walked out of that relationship. I thought it was over. I thought I was so over the other party and got into this relationship. Only after marriage to discover that, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. And so came years of struggle, years of what if, years of, what if I had married the other party and not this one? Would it have not have been sweeter? Would it not have been more wonderful and all that? And that plunged me into quite a lot of crisis, and I had to work it out. Now, of course, I look back and I don't have those struggles anymore. It is now a wonderful relationship I have with Florence. We've been through hell and back. So I'm going to share with you what made it work for Florence and I in, under the circumstances. These are circumstances that have killed other relationships. So how come that in our case, it has made us better and stronger people instead of people who destroyed each other? The first factor why what has worked for me is that the first one, I married a friend. I married a friend. I may not have been as excited about Florence romantically as I was about the other girl I had walked away from. But Florence and I were friends. We enjoyed each other's company. We could spend time talking. We could just talk. I liked the way her mind worked. I liked her depth. I liked her maturity. I liked her humor. And I believe that she also liked the same things about me. And so, even long time after the passion issues had come in and the passion had been buried for some time, we still had so much going because we could sit and talk. We could, we enjoyed each other's company. And I think that is always a big plus in a marriage. If you married a friend, you marry somebody with whom you can talk. Over the years, I have met people who can have a conversation with their spouses. It just won't happen. They are like two strangers in a house. I call them roommates. They are not couple. 2, common interest. Florence and I met through drama, through the theater. She came into the group I was leading, and then that is how I met her for the first time. So she was an actress. I was a playwright and a director. So we had something in common. That plus our love for God and for the things of God. Both of us were curious, and both of us were excited about things of God, and that helped. The fact that we had a common interest, also helped deepen the friendship that we already had. 3, we aimed at building a memory bank through common shared experiences. In the early days of our marriage, I used to cover Ashanti, Eastern, Western, Central, Volta regions on a monthly basis. That was my schedule, official schedule. And I had to go through all these places on a monthly. Every month I had to cover all of them, not alternatively, all of them. And Florence and I would just lock our apartment and we just go. We just hit the road together. So she would be with me as I do my business. She met all the people I did business with, all my contacts in all the regions. They got to know her, they got to like her, and so on. So the two of us, and on the way we'll be chatting back, driving back to Accra, we'll be chatting. These things helped. The shared experiences and the focus to build a memory bank of happy experiences, not necessarily happy experiences. So both of us had common references whenever we were talking. And in the early part of your courtship and your marriage, think about it. Always aim at having shared experiences and building memory banks, so that when the bad times hit, and they will hit, you would have this as a cushion to help you through it all. 4, reading. Florence and I loved reading, and we exchanged books with each other, even after we had married, and we would discuss what we've read. And one of the books that we read is the book from which I took the quote and that I began this presentation with. I married a bestseller by Sheila Hurley. Now, in that book, Sheila shared her experience of living with a writer whose first marriage had lasted just about 6 years or so, and then had married her as a second later. And she was sharing how they have come 25 years and we're still going strong. That book saved me because it helped me to understand myself as a writer. It made me understand, okay, so those impulses I have, that mindset that I have, these traits that I see inside me, I am not abnormal. I am just a writer. This is the writer in me. It helped, for instance, also to know that living with a writer will not be normal. You are not living with a normal human being. You are living with a defective human being, somebody who comes with extra baggage, and you've got to be prepared and ready for that. 5, we learned to fight the right way. We learn to fight the right way. Too many people fight in their relationships the wrong way. They fight to make points. They fight to prove them that they are right. They don't fight to save the relationship. In all the times Florence and I fought, saving the relationship was the key. It was not so I could get one over her. It is not so I could manipulate her. It was because something was happening in the relationship that was not in the best interest of the relationship, and we wanted that addressed. So we learned to fight the right way. What do we mean? We learned not to fight in public, no matter how upset one party was. No matter what the irritation was, if there were people around, if we were in public, the issue will not be addressed. The party that is offended, that is in pain, will allow it to go. You swallow it. You kept it in. Because we knew there will always be time. There will be time to talk. So you'd never go at each other in public. The second rule for fighting right, we don't raise our voices at each other. You don't need to scream to make your point. If you're upset, you don't need to scream. So that was one of the things. So one of the interesting things that Florence and I, testimony that Florence and I had, we've always kept an open home. We've always welcomed people home. And one of the ladies we had made a part of our home when she was going to get married. This was after she had been part of our home for 6 years. And when she was going to get married, her friends who knew her from school said, "But you said you would never get married." And she said, "Yes, because I didn't think marriages worked until I lived with the whites. And then for the 6 years I lived with them, I've never heard them quarrel before." And Florence and I looked at each other's face. Yes, we quarreled, we fought. But because we had learned to fight the right way, people who lived with us had no idea that we ever fought, because we will not raise our voice at each other. It doesn't help you make your point. And it is petty, it is immature to be screaming just because you are upset. It won't bring you anything. We also learn to fight without insulting each other. You don't need to get personal. So, for instance, if I offend Florence, she knows it is not because I'm a foolish man. It's not because I'm a foolish fancy man. And her friends told her not to marry a fancy man because fancy men are like that. No, that is not what it is. It is this. My husband has done something I'm not happy with. He needs to know. And he needs to address that, and we need to remove that one. So we never got insulting. And then we picked the times for fighting carefully. You know, if you have a beef with your spouse, there would always be time. There would always be time. Our elders have a saying that if you are raising poultry, and you raise the poultry in the way we used to raise poultry traditionally, and that's where you open them and then they move around and then they come back in the evening. He said, you don't go join in the afternoon looking for your poultry. Wait, they will come and roost. And then you know you have your poultry. So we always have time. There would be time for us to address things. And I've just been told that my voice is down. And that, but there's a reason why my voice is down. My voice is down because these things I'm sharing with you are not easy. And so don't expect the usual bubbliness, because I'm not talking about easy things. I'm opening my heart to you. I'm opening my soul to you. And I'm not doing that lightly. So we learn to fight the right way. And the key thing for fighting the right way is that it's about mutual respect. It's about mutual respect. It's unfortunate that sometimes after marriage, we fail to respect the people we have married. I have said on this program before that many of us treat strangers with more respect than we treat our spouses. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. If anybody deserves your respect, it is a person you call your spouse. And we bring that in whenever we are fighting. Plus, in a fight, each party knows I get the chance to make my case. You get a chance to make your case. And it doesn't matter how long you need to make your case. You have all the time. Go, make your case. And then after the party has made a case, the other party will now have to acknowledge what he has said and said, I have heard you. I've heard that you have said A, B, C, D. Is my understanding correct? Yes, it is correct. Then the apology follows. Then before the defense. The apology before the defense. Apology because whether I have a justifiable reason for doing what I did or not, it doesn't matter. It's created offense. Let me minister to that. Let me acknowledge that. So the apology. I am sorry I have caused you pain. I am sorry I have caused you tears. Now, let's look at the reality from my angle also. And then you get a chance to table your issue. So, we are patient in the fight because I'll have my say. She will have a say. And while she's having her say, she knows I won't play games at her. I won't try to twist her words around. I won't try to catch her up in an argument. No, she knows I get a right to say what I have to say. When it gets to my turn, I know I will not be interrupted. I will not be made fun of. I will not be ridiculed. I would also get a chance to state my case. And then after that one, we will see what to do. And more often than not, we finish it with a high mass. Those of you do not know what my high mass is. I said last week that makeup sex never fails. I'm a very strong believer in makeup sex. So I don't understand when couple make up and then they go and sleep in different rooms. No. You're wasting the makeup. Once you've made up, please. I mean, let's have a time of worship. You understand me? No, because no matter how much you make up now, you can't have makeup sex. I mean, you are banned from a makeup sex or any kind of sex for the next how many months?
Minimum is 3.
You can manage 2.
All right, 6. Again, if you just join us, I'm talking about what has helped Florence and I to build a marriage that has worked for 34 years. I began by saying that this is a marriage that should not have worked, and yet these are some of the factors that have helped us to overcome all the odds. So let's go on. 6. Allowing my wife the freedom to stretch herself. It is unfortunate that a lot of men don't want their women to find their passion and operate in their passion. We started with Florence being a housewife, and it didn't help us. So what will happen is that I come home tired, but for her her day has begun because her husband has now come home. And then you come, you want your rest, but she's waited all day to welcome you home. And then it became, no. So I realized that if we continue that way, we would end up eating each other up. So I knew what her passion was, and it is in our glow, it is in ministry. So we created the opportunity for her to go. That meant that it isn't always that she could perform her wifely duties at home, but that was okay with me because I understood that this is for both of us. So if she had to go, she doesn't have to worry about, oh, is there food? Have I left? No, the house belongs to me too. So I take over. If it is cooking, and before now I finished school and we had more people coming to the house, then she got very busy on Saturdays. Saturdays, I took over the kitchen. So she goes in the morning, but she knows by the time she comes home in the evening, there will be food waiting for her. Not a husband waiting in the hall and saying, look at the time you are coming, look at the time you are coming. So what were you hoping for me to eat? No, you two get up and learn to cook small. Learn to cook small. If not, go out and buy fish and kinky. And whilst you are eating, say, this is the price I pay for not learning to cook. You know. But I gave her the freedom to stretch herself, to do what she loved to do. Money was not the issue. It was not to go out there and make money. That was not the issue. It was to go out there and to come alive. That way, she comes back home with that aliveness. And then our relationship was enriched because she's been able to go out there and do what it is that makes her come alive. And it has been very helpful. Now, 7, we gave each other space. I gave her the chance to go out, as I've said, but she also gave me space. And that is where marrying a writer, if it works, is a miracle. Because the writers live in their heads. We live in our heads. So I may be sitting in the study doing nothing, but don't think that I'm doing nothing. You can't come to me and say that, oh, if you are less busy, can we talk? No, because I will never be less busy. There would always be a story I am exploring or turning in my mind or researching on. So you want my time, just come and say, but we need to talk. And then we set the time, and then we go straight on. Well, this presentation is becoming too long, so let me quickly run it up with two more things, and then we'll move on. So 8, it's about honor. It's about honor. In the film Prisoner of Zenda, in the film Prisoner of Zenda, Rudolph, the Englishman who is forced to stand in for the king, the man who was to be king, falls in love with the woman the king is supposed to marry, the princess. And then, but he goes out of his way to risk his life to fight to save the life of the king who has been dragged from those who wanted to eliminate him and take over the throne. And when he was done, and the condition is that he had to leave town before people even got to know that there was a perfect look-alike of the king around who impersonated him for the coronation. He had to slip out of town. And the princess got to know, and the princess demanded a meeting with him. And he told the princess, come with me. And the princess said, I would love to come with you. But then she says this. She said, if love were the only thing, I would follow you in rags, if need be, to the world's end. For you hold my heart in the hollow of your hand. But is love the only thing? I know people write and talk as if it were, perhaps for some. Faithless let it be. Ah, if I were only one of them. But if love had been the only thing, you would have let the king die in his cell. Honor binds a woman too, Rudolph. My honor binds me in being true to my country and my house. I don't know why God has let me love you, but I know that I must stay. what the princess was saying to Rudolph was this: it is not about what we like, what makes us good and feel good. And unfortunately, we have a generation of people who want to feel good, and they don't care what price they make everybody else pay. They don't have honor. Honor says, I can't seek my happiness at the expense of another person. Granted that I may have been more excited about another lady, but for me, Florence, I was the only man for Florence. Now, if I had walked away using that as an excuse, that, oh, you know, I love somebody else, then I would have been seeking my happiness at her expense. That is not honor. The honorable thing to do is that I vowed to love her, and I would have to. I would have to be true to the vows I exchanged with her. It's about honor. I can't stress this enough. I'm hearing too many people say, I don't love her anymore. And I am realizing this. I'm realizing that in my case, I could have used the fact that I was in love with somebody else as an excuse. But there are people who didn't have that excuse, but who still are emotionally out of their relationship. Because this is what I've discovered, that marriage is not easy on anybody. Even if you marry who you call your soulmate, it's not easy. And once the difficulties come, then we are all scrambling for excuses. Oh, she has changed. You see, he has changed. Oh, he's a different person. He doesn't treat me right. I don't love her anymore. Well, love is a decision. So what do you mean by I don't love her anymore? Let's go beyond I don't love her anymore and talk about it's about honor. I promised this woman I will cherish her. I will have to. Would it be at the cost of my own happiness? Oh, so be it. There are other things more important than my own happiness. Those who look up to me, I cannot disappoint them. All those who stood behind me and put their name to the marriage, I cannot let them down. It's about honor. It's about honor. And then, finally, 9, it's about the fear of God as well. I'm a Christian. I believe that the eyes of God are upon me. And I believe that I need to honor him. And this is an interesting thing. Now, after I have allowed myself to be held by all these things and to go through all that, this is what I discovered. I discovered that I did not marry the one I wanted to, but I married the one I needed to. I did not make a mistake in marrying Florence. I thought I had. After 34 years, I can tell you that that is the wife I needed. And she has proved it in little ways and in big ways. I am thankful to God that he ignored my inner tantrums and kept me made me continue to remain married to this wonderful woman he blessed me with. So, that is me. What has helped me and Florence to build a good marriage over 34 years. Now, I would end my presentation. I've already taken too much time with the presentation, and then I'll be ready for your questions. I hope you'll stay with us.
Thought-provoking, motivational, inspirational, attitude, values, faith, soul-inspiring content, value for money. New Look, the magazine that reports on our values, attitudes, and faith for discerning people. Rover Report Monthly Magazine. Get your copies from all Shell shops, Total shops, and a supermarket near you. Or call 0302-231188 for subscription.
Right, thank you very much for staying with us. Thank you once again for how much investment you make to spend this afternoon with me. I've just gone through what has made my marriage of 34 years work. I hope it's been useful to you. I shared it with you because I know some of you may not have that kind of excuse, and yet you're coming up with all kinds of excuses why you cannot give your best in your marriage. And remember, if you forget anything, remember this, it's about honor. Making your marriage work is about honor. Now, let me take your questions.
All right, Uncle. This is from WhatsApp. I live in the States and filed for my husband to join me while we had a child together. He's not really helpful when it comes to house chores, while I'm also working Monday through to Friday. Even if there is food in the fridge, he will eat and leave the plates till I get home, and he will not even cook anything, even if I'm out or sick or at work. I even end up working more hours than him. I discussed the issue with him a couple of times, waiting for him to come home to serve, about him waiting for me to come home to serve him food. Wise man, what is your advice?
Oh, you were right till you said wise man. No, please, nobody should call me that, I beg you. A wise man wouldn't have married a woman when he was in love with another person. Don't blame him, blame his mother. Mothers should teach their boys to cook. I'm sure he doesn't know how to do it, or was not encouraged to do it. In some part of Ghana, there's this belief that if a man gets into the kitchen too often, he will lose his potency. Again, one of the funny things that we use to stop ourselves from doing the right thing. You've spoken with him, it's not made any difference. Right now, truly, it is a bit too late. So do the best you can, and then don't let your son become like the father. Help your son, just as you work with your daughter, to learn to cook and to love coming to the kitchen as well.
All right. Hello, Uncle White. I find myself in the same situation you did, only that in this case we both agreed we shouldn't have married each other. We don't even know where to start from.
But you are married?
Yeah.
No, don't deceive yourselves. You remember how I ended it? I did not marry the one I wanted, but I married the one I needed. I trust that in 30 years, the two of you will make the same thing. So, today, the two of you come up with another resolution. It's about honor. You have exchanged vows to each other. Make each other happy. You look at the factors I've shared with you, they are not beyond anybody. Mutual respect, learning to fight the right way, putting the other person's interests above your own. I think we are all capable of that. Now listen to this. If you walk away from this marriage, nobody should trust you. Because at a certain time, I'm sure you told each other, I love you. So who should trust you now with your I love you? Make this work. That's what you've got.
From Helena. Uncle, what you said is in marriage, but I see myself asking my boyfriend to let us work it out this last time, since he said his love for me is so down. It's been a week now, and I'm seeing it working. My fear is I don't know if sooner or later issues may rise again.
Issues will rise, especially after marriage, because marriage is not easy. And I can't stress this enough. Marriage is not easy. All you young people who can't wait to get married, it is not easy. Prepare your minds for that. And it doesn't matter who you marry. No matter how perfect the courtship was, no matter how great the beginning and the excitement is, no matter how good the love and the sex is from the beginning, it will still be difficult. Because it is not easy to remain, to make a success of marriage. You begin to look for all kinds of excuses. You begin to blame each other. But remember, it's about honor. And if you can get that to that point of recognizing that it's about honor, you are way ahead of the game. You can overcome whatever life will throw at you.
All right. From Juliet Akakpo. Uncle, please, why don't people marry the ones they love? Because I noticed that the people they end up marrying suffer because they do not love their spouses. They spend their life pining for the people they love at the expense of their marriage, and they sometimes don't even realize it. If you are married to such a person, what do you do?
The interesting thing is that no matter who you marry, at a certain point, you begin to pine for another person. You will. The average man falls in love every other week. The average man. They do. They meet a girl every other week, and they go, "What? Look at that girl!" And then they wish that, oh, I wish I wasn't committed already so I could explore this one. The important thing is that at a certain point, you make your choice and you bring in honor, be honorable, and decide that this is the choice I have made. I am going to make it work. And I wish you all the best.
From Shad Duncan. Hello, Uncle. If your partner becomes excessively protective of her phone, is it a cause for alarm? When her phone is on, it is on airplane mode when she's around me.
Leave the phone alone. It is her phone. Leave her phone alone. Leave her phone alone. Whatever is on that one, if you need to know, you'll get to know. You'll get to know without even going to seek for it. And that is what I've discovered about marriage, that the truth that you need in your marriage will come to you. You don't have to go looking for it. So leave her phone alone. Leave her phone alone. Oh, by the way, I hope you are also not that protective of the phone. So leave that national security woman alone with her phone.
All right. Amu Mauto says, Uncle, what happens when your spouse doesn't appreciate your actions to honor her? Do you keep honoring her or just stop?
My brother, I wish you've been a little bit more specific. What do you mean by she doesn't appreciate your actions to honor her? I wish you could be a bit clear, but let me just talk about general principles. Everybody has his love language, and if you are not speaking her love language, it doesn't matter what you do. That is number one. Have you seen? Have you realized how irritating it is when you are scratching at a certain part of your body, and you ask somebody to scratch the itch for you, and the person is scratching some other place? It is very irritating. That's what happens in love. That everybody has his love language. There are people who words is their love language. So if you don't give them the sweet words, it doesn't matter what you buy them. It doesn't work. The other people for whom it is gifts. They don't care about words. But if you can bring a parcel to them, they will feel really loved. For others, it's just quality time. Just you, the two of us, being alone, no other third party, no phone. Your phone is off. We are talking. Maybe going for a walk or going for a ride. So discover what the love language for your partner is, and so that in your honoring her, you honor her within her love language, within what makes her feel loved, not what you think you've got to do to make her feel loved.
From Nilante, Uncle Ebo, please, would you need to have your partner up close before you can honor her?
What do you mean by up close?
I'm concluding that maybe in a long distance.
Oh, no, you don't need to. You don't need to. Indeed, some of the most wonderful times in a relationship have been times that you surprise your spouse when you yourself you are not around. Like on her birthday, you pretend you've forgotten the birthday. So she walks out of the house fuming. And then in her office, whilst you are not there, a courier arrives with a parcel, and before all her friends and all her colleagues. That is always wonderful, and that always works. Just that day when you're getting home, make sure you've had supper, because things are going to happen at home.
All right. Hello, Uncle. I'm dating this guy whom I met a year ago. He has a daughter who is 22, but isn't here this moment. Uncle, he's a bit older than me, and the love we do have for each other is very strong. We are planning to get married in the next 3 years, since we want to learn to know each other more. Uncle, what bothers me is that he doesn't want to go out with me to a place where Ghanaians are gathered, because Ghanaians really talk too much and gossip too much. Does that mean he won't go out with me for the rest of our lives at social gatherings where Ghanaians are gathered? Please, Uncle, I need help. From Sweden.
From Sweden? Sweden? The name of Sweden as in the place?
No. The country Sweden.
Oh. Then stay there. Please don't come back.
No, so I think she means the Ghanaian communities there.
Yes. No, but in Sweden, you don't really need the Ghanaian society community there. The two of you, age is just a number. If you found each other and you love each other, make each other happy. With time, I'm sure he would become confident in the choice he has made and be more comfortable to go out with you. And then learn to laugh at yourselves, you know. Learn to laugh at yourselves. I have a wonderful friend, lady friend, who is married to a man who is about 25 years her senior. And she describes him as me papa no, my old man. Even to his presence, that's my old man. And the two of them understand themselves so much. They know it is humor. So because she's calling him my old man, you can't laugh at them. And you can't say too much about them. But bottom line is about the two of you, and I wish you all the best.
From Shola Francis. Hello, Uncle. Is it right to always yield to my partner's preferences, regardless of how I feel inside?
No, then it's a one-way relationship, isn't it? So the two of you should learn to talk and talk through issues, and I think it will help. You know, in a relationship, if one party is always having the way, that relationship is in trouble. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So if you're in a relationship and you're always getting your way, you are dangerous to yourself. Stop manipulating your partner. And remember, it's a two-way street. Your duty is to ensure your partner finds fulfillment, and then let him also make you find fulfillment. And then that becomes a wonderful relationship.
Uncle, please, my boyfriend keeps admiring one of his lady friends, always saying good things about her. And he is not able to tell the lady he is with me when she asks of his whereabouts. What should I do, please?
Ignore him. He's a small boy. He has a lot to learn. It is not right, but there isn't very little. Listen, don't compliment another woman when you are with your woman. I mean, what kind of life is this? Don't compliment another woman. Keep it inside you. You know, and don't let your woman feel insecure by the comments you make about another woman. And trust me, life with that girl you be complimenting may not be better than the life you have with this one. Let's respect those God has blessed us with. Let's respect them. Please, let's respect them. And don't do this. It's not on. It's not right. Oh, by the way, you too, the lady, don't also talk about your colleague in the office and what a wonderful, sensitive man he is. It's not right.
From Eunice Diaka. Uncle, thanks very much. Like I always say, you have always been a blessing to us. In my relationship, talking about issues always gets out of hand. He will talk and you are not to talk or make corrections till he finishes. And then you can talk. It goes on and on until you interpret it, and then he gets angry and ends the talk. How do you do this right?
You married a sergeant major. You married a soldier man. You didn't marry a civilian. So he must always have his say. He must always have issue his commands and things like that. Tell him that even soldiers go on retirement, so he should put on down his uniform. So the two of you can be real with each other.
Uncle, I have a sister who was recently separated from her husband due to emotional cheating. The husband got to know by cloning her phone. As of now, the husband is insisting on divorce and has refused to listen to anybody's advice. And the emotional cheating happened as a result of her lacking attention from him. Please, how do I help them?
Wow. Well, let the families come in, activate the families. There's a reason why in Ghana we marry into a family and we don't marry like they marry out there. So bring the family in, let the family know what has happened, your family, let them then approach his family, and then let the two families call the two people and help them. And I hope good comes out of this. I really hope so.
Uncle, does age difference matter in marriage?
Not necessarily, no. There are implications, but I do not think that anybody could make a hard and fast rule about it. Some of the marriages that I have known that have worked well, the age differences, the age difference was huge, and yet they made a success of it. There will be implications, but don't go into it in ignorance. Educate yourself on the possible implications so that you prepare your mind for the special challenges that may come because of the age difference, including he not being comfortable to go out with you because the Ghanaian community will talk. So just be prepared. Prepare your mind for it.
Uncle, please, do you need to survive in your marriage?
Come again. I think the question is wrong.
Well, that's all of the question.
Read it again.
Uncle, please, do you need to survive in your marriage?
Do you need to survive in your marriage?
Yes, I think it's probably incomplete.
No. I think what the person is saying is, do you need to stay in the marriage even if it's not making you happy, but you're just keeping it going? At a certain phase in your marriage, yes, just make sure you survive. But if you've married the right person and you are also a good person, you'll go beyond that and you'll find passion. Because marriages get sweeter. Did you hear that? Marriages get sweeter. I think for Florence and I, this is the best time of our married life after 34 years. Marriages get sweeter.
Ago, is it possible to love someone and yet not like them?
Yes. Oh, yes. Like I said, I always say, I'm sorry. Love is a decision that you make. But liking somebody depends upon how the person treats you and how you feel about that person. You could love somebody and you don't like him. One of my friends, one of the friends I made in the US said, you know, I related to him and I found that he was a very wonderful person. So I remarked to him that for an American, you are a fantastic man. And he said, well, my wife, I owe that to my wife. He said, my wife woke me up one day, looked me in the face and said, you know something, I love you, I will always love you, but I don't like you. And he said that day he resolved, I'm going to make my wife like me as much as she lost me. And that is what has made him such a wonderful person. So yes, love is a decision. Like has to do with how the person makes you feel.
From Philip Marcus, Uncle, I'm most grateful to you this afternoon for your wisdom shared. I have issues with my wife, always comparing me with friends. I need help, please.
Oh, she should grow up. What is this comparing you with friends? You know, the painful thing about those who compare us with other people is that they will never leave us for those people. Sometimes you wish they could just leave you and leave you alone and go, if that person is wonderful, go and live with that person and see whether it will be as wonderful as you think. Sometimes, not sometimes, in every case, when you are not married to somebody, they look wonderful. We call it the myth of the greener pasture. So it's a scientific fact. It is not just you. It's scientific that the person you are not married to looks like a far better choice than the one you are married to. Don't believe that myth. Don't deceive yourself. Celebrate the person you have, and you become more and more the kind of person you need him or her to be.
Uncle, a follow-up from the lady who sent the question about the emotional cheating that's leading to divorce.
Yes.
She says both families are aware, but the man's mother has never liked the lady and is also one of the instigators of the divorce.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, let your family get activated. Not just that they are aware. They should call for a meeting and say, we are here. We want to see, we want to heal this. We want to see what we can do to help this couple.
From Ifia, I'm older than my boyfriend, but I don't want my family to know. Hope I'm doing the right thing, because I'm afraid of the reaction I will get.
You are not. How long do you think you can hide it? So talk with them. If you need, break the news to them individually. Look for the most sensible person among them, the most reasonable among them, and break it to him or her. And then hopefully you can prepare the other's mind for it. But don't hide it. Don't hide it, and face it.
Uncle, why do most guys end up marrying bitchy women, in inverted commas? The women maltreat them when they are dating, but the men stick around and end up still marrying them.
I think it's a human thing, because every man is also puzzled why certain women marry certain men. If you ask anybody, any man, what is the most puzzling thing in life, he would point to some wonderful, beautiful girl he knows married to a cow, and wondering how did she end up with him. I think it's human that sometimes we make. I suspect one reason is that we make our choices when we are too immature to even know what we need to look out for. I find young people so excited, and when you ask them, why are you excited about this person, the answer they give you makes you clench within and go, oh my goodness, that's another relationship that's going to be wasted. So, immaturity, we are human, we make mistakes.
From Kwabena, as I said, we should know how to laugh with each other in marriage or relationship. So in that case, do you have to laugh at the expense of your partner?
No, it is not funny if you are the only one laughing. I've always said that. It is not funny if you are the only one laughing. Get people to laugh with you, but don't laugh at people. If the joke is on you, good. If the joke is on your partner, it's not funny. So get funnier. Get funnier. You are not being funny.
Uncle, what do I do when my husband wants to have sex like 4 times a week, but I do not feel for sex when he is ready for it? I wish to make him happy, but I may not be in the mood, and then he gets annoyed with me. How do I solve this, please?
Please don't tell your friends about this. They will kill you. Do you know how many of your friends want a husband like that? Hey! What? You know, how many of your friends want a husband who... Hey! But old boy, you too, why?
Just 4.
You too, why? What kind of job do you do that you have that much energy and that much time? Hey! You know? No, it is not that bad a thing. And remember, it's a good thing. I mean, I think that you've got a good choice. Celebrate him. Celebrate him. But trust me, if your friends get to know, they will maneuver to take over from you. Hey, 4 times a week. And I hope he's good. I hope he's not one of those people who ejaculate and then turn over and go to sleep. I hope he makes you feel good in bed. If he does, it doesn't matter whether you feel in the mood. You will get into the mood when he's at it. All that I pray for is that he will be good at foreplay, because that is where it prepares your mind to be in the mood. And then oxytocin will do the rest. Oxytocin will do the rest. Because I'm sure that there have been times when you've allowed him to have his way, you didn't feel like it, and somewhere along the line, you've been excited, you are happy that it did happen. So, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. But again, old boy, slow down small. Slow down small. Slow down small.
From Adam. My prospective parents-in-laws won't accept me because I'm an Ewe, and my lady is a Ko. They won't even tolerate or invite me into their house. Uncle, what should I do?
Give it time. They are not, and don't take it personal. It's not about you. It's about the experiences they've had and had. All of us represent our tribes, and that's why we should always be careful. We should always be careful how we operate, because we'll tag everybody in our tribe. For instance, everybody says that Fantis are concert people. I know Fantis who are not funny. Even if you put a gun to their head, they can't come up with a joke. And yet we are all concert people. So give it time. if you are sure and the lady is also very sure about you, again, activate the family mechanism. Go see some members of the family. Let them get to know you, and then they would make a case on your behalf. But bottom line, you are marrying her, and at a certain point, the two of you will have to make a decision.
Uncle Ebo, thank you for your words of wisdom. Please, I'm in a relationship with a man who is in the music industry. We are planning to tie the knot this year. I have made him aware that I don't want to be in a marriage where he lives in Ghana and I live outside the country. He says that I should look at Sonny Badu and other ministers whose families are in different countries and they visit them as and when needed. Uncle, please, is this guy ready at all for marriage? In fact, thank you for talking about guys who talk about other ladies when they are with their girlfriends or fiancé. My boyfriend is fond of doing that, especially complimenting on how big a lady's breast or buttocks is. He has done it in some instances when I'm around, and I find it very disrespectful.
It is.
Unfortunately, he sees nothing wrong with it.
It is very disrespectful. As to the two of you being in different countries, I wish it doesn't have to be that way. But so the two of you continue talking. I wish it doesn't have to be that way.
From Samuel. Since marriage is a two-way understanding and of equal rights, then why should a man be the only breadwinner of the house?
Good question. Good question. You know what I discovered? I discovered that in many cases, the man is a breadwinner, but the woman is a fufu winner, the kenke winner, and the banku winner. In other words, the chop money we give does not always go all the way. And I discovered that in my own parents' home. My father was what you call a good man, very regular with his chop money. But the older I get, I realize that the old man's chop money did not go more than 1 week. And yet, we lived like kings in the house because the old lady supplemented the budget right through. So I think our time is there, is up. So we should be running up. There are more questions. Let me reiterate the principle that I wish everybody would go away with. It's about honor. Once you've made a decision, once you've made a commitment, it's no longer about how you feel. It's no longer about how he makes you feel or she makes you feel. It's about honor. It's about you living up to the oath you made. It's about you not disgracing all the people you involved in the relationship. Once again, how can I thank you for making the investment to be with me? I know it costs you your time, it costs you your data, and I appreciate it. I hope you've heard something that has been useful to you. And if you sent a question that we didn't get to, join us next week and send your question early so we can address it. But for now, may God bless and keep you. May your love relationships be sweet and successful. And may God give you the wisdom to overcome every challenge in your relationship so you can get better as a person. God willing, on Friday, 12:30 GMT.